All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna start a Dune War for Arrakis game. Against a very good player here, Singlemancer. Let's go ahead and get this loaded here. All right, this is the script by Pestilence, if you're looking. I'll let Singlemancer pick sides. So, for those of you who are not familiar with this game, I'm going to be teaching chat. You can listen though if you want. All right. So I'm going to give a rundown of how this game works. You can pick sides. Your pick. Let's play base. All right. So if you've seen the movies or read the books, that's great. I have seen the movies and not read the books. But the goal of the game is to get points, but not like a Euro game. Okay. So the Harkonnen players are trying to get 10 points here up this track, and they're going to get points for taking over sieges or villages, which are these guys here. So you'll see some are worth 1, some are worth 2, some are worth 3 points. The idea here is if he gets enough, he's going to get to 10 points. Now, these are hidden from him, represented by this hide button, so all he sees are the backs. I have troops, if you've played War of the Ring. I have regulars, elites. I have like special elites called Fatican, and then leaders. He's going to have the same. He's going to have regulars, elites, Sardaukar. He's going to have some vehicles. We're going to roll dice that look like War of the Ring dice. I have some here. I have fewer than he has. I'm going to have some special actions. It's going to be good times. So, okay. So I'm just going to play, and you'll get the idea sort of as we go. These are his resource-generating harvesters that are harvesting spice. These are his troop carriers that are going to help his people move around, and this is a carry-all that's going to potentially save some harvesters. These are my objectives. I'm trying to win by scoring points. The points I need to get to are based on this card, which are randomly assigned. So 9 green, 6 yellow, 4 red. For now, think of red as war, yellow as sort of economy, and green as getting the terrorists and people on my side. All right, I start with some cards, talk about those later. Going to go ahead and roll my dice. He's going to roll his dice as well. And we're going to see what we get. So I have 2 deployment dice. I have 1 strategy dice, and I have 1 Mentat dice. Talk about those here in a second. Get my gauge as to what's going on here. None of those are any good. This is my good one down here, the double square. These other ones are not so good. All right. I, to nobody's surprise, tend to play a hyper-aggressive way here. So I'm going to start by putting my Bene Gesserit token on a special move, which is kind of like a wild dice. These tokens go away once they're used, and he has 2 movement dice, 3 deployment, and 3 house dice. His house dice are not wild. We'll cover that in a minute. Okay, so I am going to decide what to do with my first move, and it is going to be a deployment. So I'm going to grab my card, I'm going to pick a deploy. I am going to draw my deployment token. It's random. That's a elite and a special elite, which is good. Fatakin. And I'm going to pick my leader, which is going to be... Could score a couple of these here. Okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to put Paul Atreides in there. Now, Paul's just kind of a weak leader. We'll talk about that in a minute until he levels up. Okay. All right. Now we pass dice back and forth. So now it is the Harkonnen player's turn. He has to decide what to do with his dice. He has some special leaders. He has Beast Rabban, who is good at moving around, or Beast Rabban. He has Captain Arisham, who is good at deploying. He brings in more elite guys with him. And he has the Baron, who upgrades elites, or upgrades regulars into elites, and also deploys things onto the board. So he has to decide what to do with his dice first. He's going to pick a deploy. He's going to use Captain Arisham's ability, which can only be used once, and then you have to flip the card over. He'll get him back at the end of the turn. He's going to get 3 guys, one of which is a Sardaukar, 2 regulars, and a named leader of his choice. He's then going to deploy them anywhere he wants. They do not have to be in the same space. You have a stacking limit of 6 pink plastic guys and an unlimited amount of leaders. So it doesn't matter how many total hit points or anything, just 6 total plastic guys. So here he's got 5, he's got 4 here, adding a 5th up here. And he dropped the Beast, who's the aggressive guy, into Arsant. Okay, more about that later. My stacking limit is also 6, but I don't necessarily have to reveal everything right away. These I can score kind of at the end of the round. So I can score some, you'll see at the bottom of this card, there's yellow or black. They score at different times. This is during an action phase, I can score this. At the end of the round, I can score this. I have a maximum of 2 I can score out of these 3. So I need green. So I think it kind of makes sense to start grouping stuff up together. I'm going to use my special action, Desert Power, to place some worm sign tokens on the board. Talk about those in a minute. This is kind of like, if you played War of the Ring, this is kind of like the Free People's Pass ability. Basically, these have a chance to turn into sandworms. They also allow legions to move like a highway. So instead of moving one space, they can move down a highway chain. So you can make really long token chains and then move all around the block. Okay. My plan is, for now, to probably try to group all these guys up together over here and then do some sort of an attack into his main area here. We'll see what he does. He's got a move action. So this move action, per this board, since there's no leaders, to move 2 different legions or attack with a single legion. So he's moving 1 legion to here, and then he's moving another legion to here too. Now you might be saying, Wombat, how's he moving 2 spaces? Well, because he's got helicopters, so he can use these ornithopters each to move his 2 groups here and here. He's holding his stacking unit of 6. These now are trashed for the turn, and now he's got a nice healthy group of people here. Okay, my turn. He is planning on attacking this siege here. This siege is worth 2 points. However, I am probably going to see if I can get away without defending that. I am going to go ahead and place 1 worm sign token here. And then we'll place 1 worm sign token here. Talk about why in a minute. I'm going to turn it back over to him. Okay, now he has no more ornithopters, so he can't do another double move. But he does have some stuff here. Let's see what he decides to do real quick. He's typing. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, no problem. You can listen. I won't give away too many of my tactics here. Okay. So he is going to play Baron Harkonnen's ability to drop two um, on the bottom there, the black ability, place two vehicles on the board. So he's placing one Ornithopter there, probably so he can attack. And then he's placing a Harvester on the board in the same region that his Carryall's in, which means his Carryall is protecting all three of these Harvesters. All right, back to me. I am now going to use, well, let's make sure he's done. Yep, 1, 2, okay. Okay, so I'm going to use Stilgar's ability here. So Stilgar's ability is to move 3 different legions. You see how this is green? That's his ability. Now, I don't have to have Stilgar on the board. He just cannot be dead. So I'm going to use Stilgar's ability. We're going to move 3 different legions. So I represent that I've done that by moving this card down. And the first legion I'm going to do is move all these guys over here. So these guys are going to sand ride. And I'm going to bring Paul and the leader over here. So note, I can leave this siege unguarded. That's okay. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this guy up to here. I'm going to sand ride a space over here. And the third thing I'm going to do is I'm going to split up these guys. So I'm going to reveal this token here, which is going to make me bring out my units so they're no longer obfuscated. And I am going to bring one single guy sand riding over here. Now, why bring him over here? Because these are ecological testing stations and we are men of science. So I'm going to flip over these 2 testing stations, and these are going to give me points. In this case, I'm going to get 2 red points. So I'm going to bring these over here. I'm going to grab this red token, and I'm going to move it up 2 points. And now you can see I have 2 red points, and you can see I need to get to this many red points. So we're making some progress, and that is my turn. So now on the downside here, I've left a siege totally undefended. Which he can take and get points if he wants, but it will cost him a dice to do, and he doesn't have that many dice left to go, so we'll just have to see what he wants to do here. Okay, he's going to play a deployment. Now that Captain Erisham is busy, his only deployment option is 3 regulars and a named or regular leader. He cannot deploy a Sardaukar, just regulars. And he's doing that because he doesn't want this guy to make it over to Arsant, which maybe I still will. We'll see. All right, taking a look at the cards again. This game, kind of the mid to advanced level play, has a lot to do with the cards you draw and the sort of things that that card allows you to do. So, for example, I am going to play Lady Jessica's card and her Mentat dice here. That will allow me to either draw 2 planning cards or draw 1 and then play 1. So I'm going to use her skill to draw 1. I'm going to draw off the green deck here. And then... interesting. Okay, then I'm going to play this yellow card. Talk about those in a second. This is remove 1 Harkonnen Ornithopter from the board to make a special attack against a legion in a sector. Roll 3 combat dice and score 1 hit for every star or special. So I'm going to remove this Ornithopter and I'm going to make a special attack against this group here. So to do that, I am going to grab 3 dice, and I'm going to show you the 6 sides of the dice here. 5, 6. You'll see each dice has 3 spears, 2 shields, and 1 special. So decent chance of getting a couple hits here. I could get all 3. I got 1. Okay, so he has to take 1 hit from here. He can choose to lose a regular or a leader, it doesn't matter. But in this case, he chooses to lose a regular, which is good. That didn't work out exactly how I had hoped, except for he cannot now use this Ornithopter to move these guys into my siege, which was sort of the point. So that worked okay. All right, looking back at what he's got a movement, a deployment, and 2 more house dice here. I have 2 dice left. So note the dice discrepancy. He's got 4, I've got 2. That means I have 2 sandwriting or worm sign token abilities as defaults. So again, in War of the Ring, you sort of pass back and forth. In DUNE, you have some miscellaneous actions you can do. Okay, he's going to attack my Legion because these 2 things are connected here. So when that happens, I flip my token over and reveal it, and we move our guys to the battle board. Now, that may seem a little crazy, like why are you going to waste your time doing that? But Atreides units are very good at causing problems. Okay, let's talk about combat. He's got 6 guys, so he's going to roll 6 dice. I have 1, so I'm going to roll 1. My leader changes special dice into damage, but in this case, I rolled 1 spear, which is blocked by 1 shield. He does 3 spears. I have no shield, so I take 3 damage. Leader has 1 hit point. Elite has 2 hit points. That's 3 undead. So I do no damage. He does enough. My token is gone, and he has a choice on whether or not he can take ground or he can stay in place. It's up to him. He is choosing to advance, so he's going to move his guys from here to here. Okay, that's good. Fair enough. Okay, I have a choice here. I can continue to do sandwriting stuff, or I can do some deployment stuff. Or I have a house dice, which is a wild dice, and can do anything with it. I have two more wild dice, and I'm not too concerned about him doing anything too crazy right now. So I might want to do this maybe? A house and a deploy. Let's go ahead and do this. This is sort of a threatening move because I got a fairly big army here, although Stilgar is my good leader because his specials do 2 damage, whereas Paul Atreides' special only does 1. But it's still a kind of a scary thing. Now he does have, he's using Baron's ability, which is the red one, to upgrade 3 regulars into 3 elites. So he's going to remove these 2 regulars and add 2 elites there. Elites are just like regulars, except they have 2 hit points instead of 1. And then his last upgrade is going to be over here. Yep. Or maybe not. Yep. Okay, he's going to upgrade the Arrakis. Okay. So he kind of beefed up the North Pole. This now has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 hit points, which is pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and do one more final worm sign action. I'm going to worm sign here. So now I kind of have this big messy highway that connects this guy to this guy. I'm threatening both of these eco stations here, which are extra points, which is good. I also have the ability to score some of these objectives. So I have a few different sneaky things I can do here. He's got, oh wait, could I not do that? Or did you just play a dice? Yeah, we each had 2. Okay, so that was not a legal move because I have 2 dice and he has 2 dice. You can only do sand actions if you have insufficient dice. So I will just go ahead and play my deployment token. before I do that, I am going to do this and remove a deployment token from the board. So I can do that because this legion is in this sector. So I'm going to remove this token here, which is a 2 regular, and that's going to give me a yellow and a red. Now, when I do that, I score 3 red points, and you'll see these little symbols under it. That lets me upgrade to a different leader. In this case, Paul's girlfriend, Shawnee. She comes into play. Okay, so I do that. I score this card, and then this goes in the trash. And now I can spend the deployment token to do Shawnee's ability, which is to draw 2 deployment tokens, keep one of them, and put the other one back in the pool. So I can draw 2 tokens now, look at them, figure out whichever one's better or worse, depending on what I want to do, put one of them out, put the other one back in the pool, and then I can bring a leader out, either Stilgar or Chani. Chani is 1 attack, 1 defense. Stilgar is double attack. Go ahead and bring Stilgar out and put him in this pile with Paul. Okay, that's my turn. Okay, he's going to deploy. He's going to deploy 3 regulars. He's going to put out Captain Arishem. Okay, regular. Two more regulars somewhere. Yep. Okay. So he's got a pretty bold group, and I also have a pretty bold group. I have a choice between, I could score some objectives here if I wanted to, or I could snowball and charge into the North Pole and see if I can win a big fight early on. I can also potentially score this one just at the end of the round, but he could actually spoil that in a couple of different ways. I think what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to do this as a thinking. I'm just not convinced I want to attack that. I also kind of want to score this. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to reveal this. Am I? Yeah, I might. Maybe not. Let's do... Gosh, maybe I should just attack. He has 2 cards, I have 2 cards. Yeah, let's just... Gosh, I don't think this is right. But it feels so good. Nope, we're going to do a move. Okay, we're going to spend the Bene Gesserit token, and we're going to do move 2 different legions, or move 2 different legions with the looter. So we're going to move 2 different legions with a leader, I guess. No, just 2 different legions. Okay, so we're going to reveal this, and going to reveal this one, and that's going to be a Fatican and a regular. All right, then I am going to take him and Paul. And nope, I'm just going to take him and we're going to go here. And then I'm going to take these guys and we are going to go. Nope, they're going to stay. No, maybe not. Yeah, maybe these guys will go here. Sorry, this is kind of messy. Yeah, he's going to go here, and all these guys are going to go here. With these 2 tokens that are hidden. And then that is going to score me this objective, which is an Atreides Legion with a named leader, meaning Paul, moves to an empty desert area by sand riding. So I'm going to score that. That's going to get me a yellow and a green. And then this guy's going to get the eco testing station, which is going to be a yellow. And then when I get a yellow, I'm going to score another leader upgrade, which is going to, what? Yeah. And then that's going to score me Reverend Mother Jessica, which is an upgrade over Lady Jessica. We'll talk about that in a minute. I'm now done. These guys are a little bit exposed here out in the desert, but they're also threatening picking up that eco station. They're also threatening an early attack. There's a bunch of stuff that they could be doing here. All right, so he has 1 house dice left. He's going to use that house dice to put out an ornithopter. And one of his ornithopter's special abilities is to scout, right here. Remove an ornithopter from the board to choose an area in its sector and search. So he's going to search here. So then he's going to see that this is a 1 and that this is an elite and a regular here. There are 2 1s, 2 3s, and the rest of these are 2s on here. So he knows this is one of the bad sieges up here. Okay. Then he placed a guy here. So now we are end of the round. So here's what the cleanup phase looks like. The very first thing that happens is worm sign appears on every area where there's plastic in the desert that is Harkonnen. So any troops that would be out here and any harvesters. Okay, then what we do is we reveal the worm sign token. So I click this, and it's going to show me where the worms pop up. So worms pop up wherever there's a worm token, and wherever there's a bubble, if that bubble is on the deep desert. Okay, so we have 1 that popped up here, but because this was protected by a harvester, it picks it up and saves it. These guys are not bothered. There's a worm that came up here but didn't really see anything. So he is going to collect spice of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 points of spice. We'll talk about what he does with that later. Then we do storms, but there are no bad guys in the desert, so we'll talk about storms later. And then we are good to go. If I had not scored 2 objectives, I could have scored this objective as well. But I've already scored 2, so that's good. I now get the choice on whether or not I want to throw this in the garbage or keep it. And I think I will. It's a pretty easy one to score. But I think I'll throw it in the trash. Okay, then at the end of the turn, I'm going to draw new cards. So I get 3 new cards. And we refresh all our leaders. And we have a choice of whether or not to keep our leaders out in play or put them back to be deployed again next turn. So I can bring these guys back or I can keep them there. I'm just going to keep them there, I think. The Harkonnen player bought a spice, which you can do for a cost of 3. So he had 10. He spent 3 to buy a point, maximum you can do per turn. And then he can feed 2 spice to each of these guilds, Chome, Lance Word, and Scouting Guild, Spacing Guild. And if he feeds 2 spice to each of them, they remain happy. If he makes them unhappy, they drop, and then we have to lose some dice, and we'll talk about that later. Then you draw one of each deck of cards. So 1 green, 1 yellow. He's going to draw 1 silver, 1 red. Green represents Atreides, and yellow represents Fremen. Fremen are like kind of nasty desert cards. Atreides are sort of my bread and butter deploy and attack cards. So green is typically my style of play. For the Harkonnens, red are deploy cards, and Carino cards are the aggressive attack cards for the Harkonnen player. We now start the new turn, so he's going to deploy his vehicles. I'm going to look at my objectives and see what I can get points for. So I can get 1 green and 1 red for attacking a legion and causing a hit, as long as that legion's not in a settlement. I can attack with a named leader into a settlement to gain 3 red. That's pretty good. Or I can put Paul and Jessica in the same siege, and I suppose they probably make out there, and that gives me 2 green points. So yay for Paul and Jessica. So again, you can look at my card and think about what I may or may not try to get. It's also worth pointing out now, while he's deploying, that if I attack and take over an area, one of his villages, I can get 1 point, 2 points, or 3 points of scoring on each of these areas. So if I attack and kill the North Pole, I will get 1 of each of these points will crawl up. The next leaders I get are when Paul or when green reaches step 3, when anything reaches step 6, when I draw a card, I get these guys here. Okie dokie, so rolling dice. Now you'll notice I don't have a Bene Gesserit token because I used it last turn. It'll come into play again at some point. I rolled 2 Mentat dice, which I like Mentat, and 2 leadership, which is okay too. I like all that. Oh, what do I want to do here? All right, I am going to start. He has lots of Mentat dice, which isn't what a Harkonnen player wants to see. Lots of moves and attacks and no deployment. It's worth noting here, when you roll more dice than what you have, you get to drop 1 on an area that's empty. So he could have dropped this on leadership or deployment. He chose leadership because he's got some sieges he needs to get, because he needs to get some points on the board. But Wombat is a greedy, greedy Wombat, and we like violence, don't we, folks? So we are going to start by playing a Mentat dice. You'll see that Lady Jessica is now creepy Reverend Mother Jessica. Her ability is draw 2 planning cards, then play 1. Do I want to do that? Or do I just want to be a monster and attack? Without over-explaining, attacking is just a good thing to do in this game. I really like attacking. I could draw 2 cards, and maybe I'll draw a really good attack card. What to do? I'm gonna be a greedy Wombat. All right, we're gonna draw 2 cards. We're gonna draw 2 green cards and see what we get. Okay. Ooh. Could do this. This is good. This gets me a little bit of flexibility. Okay, we're going to do a few things. We're going to do we're going to start with this one. So this is if Reverend Mother is in play, check. Aaliyah enters play. So now I get to bring in Aaliyah. She has a cool ability. We'll talk about that later. Then play 1 planning card. So for my next planning card, I'll play this. Bill of Particulars. Move the Imperium marker of my choice one step down, then play another planning card. So I'm going to move this Scouting Guild down one space, talk about that later, and then play a planning card. Then for my next card, I will play Truth Trance, which is choose one unused opponent's action dice, and on the next turn they must use that dice. So I'm going to choose their house dice as their next dice that they have to play, because it's hard to attack with a house dice. Then I'm going to play either draw 2 cards or play 1 planning card. And I'm going to be greedy again, and I'm going to draw 2 more cards. 1, 2. Okay. Interesting. Okay, back to Sanglemancer's turn. So now he has to play that house dice, and then with that house dice, he can either do any of Baron's actions, which are like upgrading, placing vehicles, or he can spend that house dice to do an attack. Or sorry, he can spend that house dice to play a card out of his hand. Some of his cards are attacks, some of his cards are deployments, some of his cards are other stuff. So in theory, he could play that dice to do an attack, maybe attack a siege, maybe attack my units. He could do any number of things. He's going to attack with a legion containing a Sardaukar, and then at the end of each battle round, he may continue the battle without taking the hit. Okay, fair enough. See what he decides to do with that. He is unsure what these deployment tokens are here. He's trying to decide whether or not he wants to attack with this unit or this unit, because these guys have an Ornithopter. In theory, he could, with this unit here, he could even attack with those guys there. One nuance is, if the battle doesn't go well, you can always choose to stop attacking, and you just go back to the area where you were at previously. Okay, he's going to attack with the North Pole. I do have a pretty beefy group there, but overall I'm disappointed that he's attacking me, so I think maybe I should have just gone ahead and been aggressive, but that's okay. I was hoping to draw an attack card out of my drawing of stuff there. All right. So he's got 6 guys with 2 leaders. I have 5 dice, and I can choose to discard a card for 6, which I'm going to do. I will discard maybe I will discard. I'll just discard this card here. Okay, so I'm rolling 6-2. That's worth pointing. If you have 5 units in battle and you want to roll a sixth dice, you can discard to do that. Now, I didn't roll any specials, which are too bad, because my leaders aren't very useful here. He has a Sardaukar unit. The special ability of a Sardaukar is that it destroys a shield. The special ability of a Fadakin is it destroys 1/2. I have 2, so it destroys 2 shields. We then match up all this stuff. He does 2 damage to me. I do 3 damage to him. The attacker has to take his casualties first. So he can choose to take hits on 3 different elites if he wants, and that will downgrade each of his elites down to regulars, so he will still have 6 guys there. I now have to take 2 hits. I will choose to... I'm actually going to choose to take a leader hit for 1, which is something that you can't normally do in War of the Ring, right? And then I'm also going to take this guy as my second, I think. Yeah, that's fine. I'll lose both my leaders, keep all my elites in play. Okay, he's going to continue. Now, I have a choice on whether or not I want to stay and fight or retreat. And if I retreat, he actually gets to choose where I retreat to. So I am going to go ahead and... What am I going to do? Should I stay in the fight one more time? Maybe. No, you can retreat me. I'll go ahead and retreat. So he can choose where to retreat me. Any adjacent spot he wants. And then yeah, the problem is there's not a good place to put me. If he puts me here or here or here, I'm next to his guys. If he puts me here or here, I'm also next to his guys. So he's got kind of a messy situation here, which is good for me. He can also choose not. Yeah, I think that's right. Gonna retreat me here. And then when he does, he gets a choice on whether or not to advance, or he can choose not to advance and stay there. Okay, now same question. Do I get greedy or do I just do my business like I normally do? He has some surprise attack abilities here. I am going to go ahead and surprise attack. So I'm going to use my leader dice to do a surprise attack. Talk about that in a second. It's one of the abilities. The final one, make a surprise attack with the Legion with a leader. I'm going to surprise attack into the Imperial Basin. So I'm going to take all my guys and place them here. And then he's going to take his guys, and he gets a extra bonus dice from here. So he's got 5 dudes plus a bonus dice. He's going to be rolling 6. I have 5 dudes. I want to roll a 6th, so I need to discard a card. So I'm going to discard this one, which is pretty good, and then roll 6. Okay. Now, a surprise attack gets you 1 free special. So because I didn't roll any specials, I automatically get 1. That I'm going to use for Stilgar's ability, which is going to give me 2 extra special hits. He has a Sardaukar, which is going to block my shield. I have 2 Fatakin, which is going to kill his 2 shields. I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. He does 3, so 6 to 3. So he's going to take 2, 4, 5, 6. He'll still have a guy left, and I'll need to take 3. So I'll do 1, 2, 3. And then I get 1 regular back in exchange for that. No, that's not true. I'm going to take 3 elite damage and downgrade to 3 regulars. 3 regulars. Okay. Now I have a choice. I'm going to score this because this was attack with a Legion and a Harkonnen settlement and get 3 points. I don't have to win, just have to do that. Then, if I want to continue the fight, I have to kill this last guy, and in order to continue the fight, I need to take a damage. So for that, I'm actually going to downgrade a Fatakin to get another regular out. So this is like pressing in War of the Ring. I'm only going to roll 5 dice this time, and I don't have my surprise attack ability anymore. So he has a choice to discard if he wants to roll more than 2 dice, but otherwise he'll just roll 2. These are all discarded cards here. Okay. You discard. Yeah, he's going to discard 3. So he discards 1, 2, 3 cards. He's going to roll a total of 5 dice, and I'm going to roll a total of 5 dice. I just need 1 damage, which seems okay. All right, I have 1 Fatakin to kill that shield. He can't use this because he doesn't have a leader. I block 2 and do 3 damage, so he's dead, but I take 1 damage back. And with that 1 damage back, I will actually send... Do I send Paul to the tank? Maybe I do. Yeah, I think I send Paul to the tank. No, I don't think so. I'm not going to send Paul to the tank. Maybe I will send Paul to the tank. Maybe Stilgar. Stilgar seems so good. Yeah, I'll send Paul to the tank. That's okay. Okay, so Paul goes to the regeneration tank. I get the Imperial Basin, so I'm going to claim that, and that's going to give me 1 point in each section. And then all my guys are going to go advance into the Imperial Basin. Unlike War of the Ring, if you advance, everything must advance. So my whole crew's in there. And then we are done with that turn. Hey, Nin, thanks for chiming in here. Appreciate you watching the stream here. Some aggressive Atreides we're watching here. Paul suicide bombing into the Imperial Basin, just like they do. All right. So it's worth noting now, if in theory I take the capital, which is Arrakis, I will immediately get 3 points of each variety. And if that's enough to set me up to win, then the game immediately ends. So Sanglamancer is doing an attack into the Imperial Basin from Arrakis because he is now just doing a regular attack, it looks like. So he's going to have 2, 4, 6 dice. I don't get the benefit here because I burned this place to the ground. So I'm just rolling 5 unless I want to discard. And I am actually not going to discard here. So I'm just going to roll 5 dice. And he's going to roll 6. And we're going to see what happens. No specials again. Okay, my Fatakin kills that shield. His Sardaukar has no shield to blow up. So this is just massive war. So he deals 5, I deal 5. So I have to take 5 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then do I kill Stilgar or do I downgrade the Fatakin? I think the answer is I think the answer is I actually kill Stilgar. Okay, I'll keep the Fatakin out. So Stilgar goes in the regeneration tank, and since you can't fit 2 people into the same Bacta tank, because War for Arrakis doesn't roll like that, it actually automatically bumps Paul up a turn. We'll talk about that more later. Okay, now he has to decide whether or not he's going to press. If he does, he doesn't have to downgrade a unit because I am not in a defensive area. I will retreat. So he gets to choose where to retreat me. So I start here, but he can retreat me any adjacent area. So he's going to put me back here because that's not close by to either of these sectors. And it's sort of a, loosey-goosey area. Okay, Arrakis is protected for the time being. Okie dokie. I have 2 dice. He has 6 dice. So I have 4 desert actions I need to take here. I know this game seems like it's a little maybe out of control at the moment and Atreides are running all over the block, but it's definitely worth pointing out that I have a bunch of totally undefended points on the board here. Okay, my desert options are I can place 2 worm sign tokens, I can move 2 sandworms, or I can attack with 1 sandworm. But a sandworm can only eat people that are in the sand, which nobody is. So I'm going to move 2 sandworms. I'm going to move this sandworm here, and then I am going to move this sandworm one, 2 spaces. Okay, the reason I'm doing that is because you can actually sand ride over a sandworm, just like you can over a worm sign token. Desert terrorist people are really good at that. All right. So he has 6 left. Will be 5. I have 2. I'll have 3 more sand actions I can take. Okay, he's going to use the Ornithopter to attack my Fatakin, which I think is a great idea. So That's going to be a bad loss for me, but there's not a whole lot I can do about that. It does use his Ornithopter resource, which is good. He's at 6 dice, I'm at 1. I'm not going to discard anything, so I'll just roll 1 dice. Maybe I'll get super duper lucky. Nope. All right, 1 shield. I block 1, but I take 4. That's enough to kill me. So he's dead. You guys have probably heard my Rebellion podcast, where I'm a big fan of smooshing rebel units. That is exactly what I do when I play a Harkonnen player, is I smoosh Atreides units. Okie dokie. Okie dokie, okie dokie. We're going to do another sand action here. And what we're going to do is we're going to move this guy here. And we're going to move this guy 1 here. That creates a couple of tunnels for me. And worms are nice for sand riding, because if it's just a worm sign token, the Harkonnen player can walk over it and trigger it. So sometimes they can break up the chain, or there's cards that remove worm sign tokens. There's no card that removes a worm. So yeah, that's what we got. Okay. So Sanguimancer's got some decisions to make. He is light on moves and attacks, but has a lot of Mentat. His Mentat, yes. His Mentat ability, instead of draw 2, play 1, is draw 3, but it has to be House Harkonnen cards for his special. Oh, actually. One moment. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it has to be. I'm 99% sure attacking is you have to move the whole thing. Moving, you do not have to. Okay, so he's going to use Beast Raven to do a double move. Okay, so Beast Raven's ability here is a double move. And he can leave this guy behind. Yep. Okay. Yeah, so this one goes. Yep. Okay, so now he's got 1 attack left and 3 movement. So the rule is, if you have a group of people, you have to attack with the group of people. So sometimes if things are left open like this, it makes it awkward for the Harkonnen player, because they don't want to bring their whole unit out. Okie dokie. Now I've got a lot of sieges under fire here. But he only has 1 attack card, although he might draw some extras. It's worth me peeking to see what's under here, see if I care. I also need to think about how I don't have any deploy tokens, which makes that a little bit tough. You'll notice I haven't moved anybody in the regeneration tank yet. Talk about that in a minute. I don't have any Stilgar action icons, which is a little bit sad for me, but I do have some stuff. To give you an idea, these come in different varieties of highs and lows. So sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't with what you draw. Okay. Okay. I could draw cards. Or I could move things. I do like making this as awkward as possible. So we're going to we're just going to do a worm sign combo here. And we're going to let him take the lead and decide what he wants to do. No, right, man? Okay, so he's going to take this one for free. That's a 2-point siege. Now, I would have had 2 bonus dice had I had at least a single guy there, but instead I just left all the old women to defend for themselves and forgot to leave any weapons for them to do it with. So sorry, old ladies, you're toast. Okie dokie. We're now going to do some things here. Okay, just do it, right, Wombat? Just do it. Right? Just do it. What are you so scared of? You're not scared of anything. Maybe you are. You might actually be scared of some. I'm kind of scared that I'm running out of units, to be totally honest. I need to get some green points, man. But there are 2 sets of green points. There's 2 reds, 2 yellows, 2 greens. There's only 3 of these eco stations left. So let's do it. Let's do this. Yeah, I'm just going to do this, and then he can decide what he wants to do here. So I'm going to put 2 elites in Gurney. Gurney's a big boy. He's got big boy power. So Gurney Hallett comes out, place him and 2 elites in any empty desert area. So this is an empty desert area right here. That's all I got. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to put this back on what to do with his Mentat dice. So he's going to spend Thwyfer Hawat's ability to draw 3 Harkonnen cards, which tend to be deployment cards. There are a couple of attack cards in there. Okay. Now I have 2 more worm signs left, or I have 1 more worm sign and 1 dice. So I'm going to spend my dice to play okay. I'm going to spend my dice to play Juba Cloaks, move a legion of your choice with a leader that is in a desert area. So I'm going to move these guys. They're going to move here. Then play a planning card. Then my next planning card is going to be Death Commandos. Replace 2 elites with 2 Fatakin. So I'm going to place a Fatakin here. I'm going to place a Fatakin here because I'm going to reveal that to be an elite and a regular. So I'm going to upgrade that elite to a Fatakin. Then I'm going to move 2 legions, each containing a Fatakin. All right, so these guys are going to move with Gurney, and they're going to go here. And then these guys are going to move here. And I'm just leaving everything undefended, so we'll just see what happens. That's going to get me this station, and this station. So that'll get me 2 green and a yellow. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get a green, I'm going to get a yellow, and I'm going to get another yellow. Now, I have actually played 2 dice here. So what's important to know is when you play a dice, you move up every leader in the regeneration tank, and then my second one is going to move Paul Atreides out to be deployed again. That's a pretty common thing that people forget, including myself. But you don't get that ability with a worm sign token. So you'll notice the regeneration tank for the Harkonnens is a little bit larger and longer than the regeneration tank for the Atreides. Also, because I've got my 3rd green token here, I upgrade Paul Atreides to Paul Muad'Dib. And you can see Paul Muad'Dib is a 2 attack, 1 defend, just like Gurney. So now I have all my big boy attackers on there. Paul Muad'Dib's ability is strong too. You get to take a desert power action, then make a move or a surprise attack with any legion with a leader. So he allows some tricky sort of like surprise attack kind of plays. All right, so now I have a bunch of empty space in the desert. The Harkonnen player has 2 sets of Mentat dice left to go, and I have 1. I guess I'll have, I'll have 1 more worm movement or desert power to do. Worms can move 2 spaces, meaning they can attack or move, total of 2 spaces. Okay, he's going to play place Baron Harkonnen and 2 elites in either Carthag or Arrakeen. Carthag is the old capital of Arrakis. Arrakeen is the new capital of Arrakis. Sanguimancer definitely detects some nonsense approaching, which is why he's deploying in Arrakis. I think that's a good move. Okay, it's up to me. I can now shift worms around. I could place more worm sign tokens if I wanted worms to pop up in a specific place. But I think what I'm actually, or I could also use him to eat that guy over there. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move worms, I think. I'm going to move this guy here. And I'm going to move this guy over here. And that, no. I'm going to move this guy over here, and I'm going to move this guy over here. That's going to kind of create this corridor of attackers for what I got over there. Okay, Harkonnens get the final move. He has another Mentat dice to either play a card or draw 2 cards. He's going to place 3 Harkonnen Harvesters on the board and then draw a card. Now you will notice that I have not spent any time trying to kill these Harvesters. That is a strategy that can be employed. I haven't even mentioned that. We're just going to kind of skip that for now. Now he gets to draw a card, so he gets to choose between a Harkonnen or a Carino card, depending on what he feels like he needs the most. Carinos tend to be attacks, Harkonnen tend to be deploys. Okay, so now we're at end of the round. So the first thing we're going to do is do worm signs. So I'm going to grab worm signs out of here. You can also do it with the keypad number 1. So I'm going to just issue worm signs out on these harvesters here. So there's going to be lots of worm activity. And then this guy's in the desert, so he also gets a worm sign. Nobody else in the desert. Worms don't like the taste of Atreides, so we're going to reveal. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 worms that pop up. Now the rule is you must redeploy the worms even if they're in spots you want them to be. So I have to actually redeploy the worms because they can't be denied their hunger. I'm going to do this. This guy's saved by the carryall. I'm going to do this. This actually eats this guy because he doesn't have a carryall. This harvester gets eaten because he doesn't have a carryall. And then this guy doesn't actually get eaten. He just gets retreated. And I'm going to retreat him here. So that's good. All right. So now he scores 2, 4, 6, 8 spice points. I'm going to clean up the worm sign. You'll notice he has a guy in the desert over here, which means we're going to roll storms. And if I roll a hit, he basically dies. And I rolled 2, so 3 technically. So he's dead. And that's all we got for now. So my worms ended up out of position, which is sort of sad. I did not score either of these. I can decide to keep them or toss them. We also need to swap our leaders out if we want to swap out any leaders, but I like where Gurney's at, so I'm just going to keep him. He is going to feed 2 spice to Chom and 2 spice to Landsrad, and then he's going to spend, so he spends 4 total spice to keep these guys happy, and then he's going to spend 3 spice. Keep in mind you have 1 saved from last round too. Yep, so he's going to buy 1 point, so he's going to go up there. Yep, we're going to do this to represent that he bought 2 spice. Okay, so he's got a total of 4 points. And then this is going to drop an area, right? 2, 4, yep. And then, so that's, so 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, you can actually spend, you can spend 2 to keep him in place too. So you're good. 6 to hold, 3 to buy. You had 1 in reserve, so good with 9. Okay. However, since I played a card that made him drop the Spacing Guild, he actually has to feed the Spacing Guild a dice now. We'll talk more about that later. He's going to work on doing that. I'm going to keep all my guys and shuffle these guys in. Okay. Interesting objectives. Talk about those in a sec. He got a Bene Gesserit, or I get a Bene Gesserit token this round because he got to 4 spaces. That gives me a free wild card, basically, for this upcoming turn. Okay, leaders refreshing. He's going to deploy his guys. I have an objective that gives me 2 points for destroying 2 harvesters in the same turn. If I can get 2 legions to the minor erg, this is the minor erg, 2 separate legions in 2 separate places, then I can score those points. And if I get 3 Atreides legions on the mountains, I can get a yellow and a red. And this is kind of what I need here. This is what I have currently. There are some cards that shift some stuff around, so we'll see. Okay. So he is now going to place 4 harvesters on the board, 1 carryall, 2 ornithopters. He has slightly more stuff. As you get more and more desperate, you deploy more and more stuff out. That's right, we also draw 1 of each card. Okay. Okay. Those could be fun. My poor Seaches. Sandworm sitting where Grandma was not too long ago. Okay. It's pretty good. It's got some options. 2 ornithopters out in central areas. Sandworms are also capable of eating harvesters, but that doesn't give me the points for blowing up harvesters myself. I would need to use like these guys to snag those harvesters probably. All right, I'm going to roll dice, see what we get. Got 1 deploy, 1 leadership, 1 mentat, and another deploy. I'll go ahead and put my Bene Gesserit on the house dice. Okie dokie. Okie dokie, Wombat. Okie dokie, Wombat. What are we doing? What are we doing? No strategy dice. I would have liked to have a strategy dice. I could use Aaliyah for that. He rolled 1 special, 3 regulars, 2 deploys, which is good for meeting defense. I don't like that surprise attack. Aaliyah's ability is I can discard my special to force him to discard a dice, and then I can play a planning card. Or I can draw 2 and play 1. Or I could eat harvesters. I do like getting 1 more red point. If I get to this level with any of my markers, I get a free atomic bomb, which sounds cooler than it is, but it's still pretty cool. I am going to move the atomic scene in the movie was pretty cool. That's right. That's right. It was. Okay, so let's do... I mean, I could also defend this pretty good, couldn't I? Opens up these guys for attack, which I don't love. But I don't hate defending a siege either, right? All right, let's play a deploy dice. I'll use Chang's ability to draw 2, pick 1. Okay. Go with this one. Put that here. Then I'm going to put Big Boy Paul on the board. Do I? I mean, Big Boy Paul could get Big Boy smooshed. But maybe I don't mind that. He does have a surprise attack, but just with regular leaders. Some cards to discard. Who else could I deploy? Chani? Do we like Chani? Maybe we do. I like Big Boy Paul. Let's be brave. Let's be bold. All right, we're going to deploy Paul. He's going to defend Grandpa since Grandma already died. And we're going to see if he decides to attack or not. And if he doesn't, power to him. He's got some choices. He's got a lot of Atreides all up in his business. So he's got to prioritize what's important to him. He's going to spend his surprise attack. Play a card. Okay, he's going to play Rage Overcame Saddam Hussein IV, which brings in the Emperor, and then he gets to play another card. The Emperor's kind of a big boy himself. Then he's going to place Beast Rabin and an elite in any legion. Ooh, that's a good card. And then he's going to make a surprise attack into here, I'm assuming. All right, I did get 2 Fatakin there, which is nice. I think that was a good move by him. This is also a 3, so that's a big boy defense too. All right, but he did get another elite, and he did get Beast Rabin into play, which is nice. So all those are good. I'm at 6 dice, and he's also at 6 dice with a big leader and a Sardaukar. I have 2 Fatakin, which is good. We'll see. Okay, I got Paul's ability, which is 2 swords and a shield. He has 1 Sardaukar. I have 2 Fatakin. And then the beast comes out with his free surprise attack. Okay, block, block. So he's got 3 damage. I've got 4 damage. So 3 to 4. I have to take 3, but he has to take his hits first. So 4 damage to him. He's going to have to lose something of value here. Get 2 downgrades and 2 leaders. That's okay. Okay, I have to take 3 hits. So I'm going to lose definitely my leader, and I'll downgrade 2 guys. So I'm still rolling 6. Okay, I made it through the surprise attack, which is good. He has to decide if he wants to press. And he's a little short on cards, but so am I. He's going to downgrade his elite to press. So he'll be rolling 6 dice, and I'll be rolling 6 dice. This is a big roll for both of us here. We're both hoping for a special. We'll see. I get 1. We both rolled 2, but unfortunately we both only have 1 leader, so we can only take advantage of 1. My special's a little bit better than his. I still have a Fadakin. He still has a Sardaukar. So we're going to block that, and then just have a massive kill fest over here. Okay, he's going to do 4 damage to me, and I'm going to do 5 back to him. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to lose Paul here. So I will do that. Paul goes back into the tank. Oh, also Stilgar's out of the tank because of that dice I played there for deployment. I'm left with just Grandpa defending the siege by himself, but he has to take 5. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he's going to take those 5. Ooh, that's a tough press for him. Yeah, there we go. That might be right. I'm not sure what's right. That could be right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 hit. So he's continuing with 2, and I have 4 dice. Okay, so he's going to discard 1. So he's going to roll 3. And I'm going to roll 4 and no discard. He needs 1 hit. Got 1. I need a shield. 1 shield. Nice. Okay. I do 2 hits to him, and that ends the assault. Okay, Paul did good. He gave his life defending Grandpa with his Fadakin brothers. Beast collapsed into the area, exhausted. The Barons obviously not too happy with that. My Atreides plan, however, is not in very good shape at the moment because I wanted Paul to survive there. I still have another deploy, though. He still has both his moves. Thank you, thank you. He has regular attacks, deploys all sorts of stuff to use. I wonder if there's an opportunity. Okay, I'm going to have. He has a Carino card. I'm going to draw 2. I have 2 worm signs I can use. Thank you for the comment, Nin. I can also no longer use Paul's special ability because he's back in the tank. So that's worth pointing out too. Okay, I'm just gonna, God, what if I don't draw anything I want though? All right, I'm gonna use, God. Okay, I'm gonna use worm signs. I'm gonna play a worm sign here. I'm gonna play a worm sign here. Okay, back to you. He has 6 dice, I have 4 dice. I'll have 1 more worm sign left, or worm attack, or worm something. It's worth noting, I'll go ahead and show you the deployment pool. This is what the These are what the options are in the deployment pool. And these are the ones I've already pulled out of the special deployment pool. So you can see I've pulled pretty good ones. And these are the ones that are left in here. These are all of the starting ones. These are kind of the average starting ones. This is the good starting one. These are not great starting ones. So he kind of knows what might be left in these ones here. Okay, he's playing a deployment. Oh, nope, he's playing a card. Yeah, that's a good card. I was worried about that. Discard one of my unused action dice with a house result. So he's just going to kill my house dice, which is unfortunate. It's a good play by him. That prevents Aaliyah's ability from working. It prevents me from having an extra move that I might have wanted. Okay. Makes it harder to combine my units together. I'm going to do another worm sign, I think. This seems good. Had another couple places I could have dropped those, but this seems relatively okay. Now he's got 3 moves, a deploy, and card draws available to him. He's probably debating on attacking my stuff, which could be good. He's also probably nervous about an attack coming his way too, which is probably also right. He's also looking at objectives I could be scoring, which I'm pretty close to a few. Whether or not he cares, he might care, might not. Okay. Regular attack using an ornithopter on Gurney. Okay. I accept your proposal. So he's got a pretty good group there. 6. Gurney is definitely my strong group at the moment. I'm not going to discard any cards. Okay, he's got a Sardaukar to break my shield. I have a Fatakin to break one of his. I take 2 damage. He blocks mine. So I'll lose my elite and retreat. Continue. So he has to decide to continue first, and if so, then I decide if I want to retreat or not. Yep, so I'll retreat. Okay, so he can move me wherever he wants. And then afterwards, he can decide if he wants to take ground or stay there. Okay, that's fair. Okay. And then he can decide to go where I was or stay in the North Pole. Yep, okay, that's fair. Okay. Yeah, staying in the pole for him makes sense. Sort of gives him some options to kind of continue an attack if he wants to. Might just boy, oh boy, oh boy. kind of like keeping Gurney alive. I also like being in mountains and scoring points. I'm going to do a double leader move. I'm going to move Gurney back here. And I'm going to move these guys up here. Get my unit sort of squared away. That's going to move Paul Muad'Dib up a spot. He did Mentat to draw 3 to refill his hand a little bit. Makes sense. I will do deployment to take a token, look at it. Maybe I'll pick Chani here. I think I'll actually pick Chani, put her with Gurney, and then take that deployment token. Now I can't use her ability because I've already used it, so I'm just sort of stuck with it. And then Paul goes up a spot. He's got 3 dice and I have 1, so I'll be doing some worm actions after this probably. And with worms, I could attack harvesters, I could drop worm sign, a couple of options. So let's take a look at the Emperor while we're here. Yeah, I think you probably have a couple with Beast. You lost Beast on this attack, which was this one. So then you had 1, 2, 3 more moves. Yep, that's right. Okay, let's take a look at the Emperor. The Emperor's ability is he's a double attack on a special. He moves, his special is replace 3 elites with 3 Sardaukar. So it's very similar to the Baron. Baron's regulars do elites, but Sardaukar are obviously a lot more burly than elites are because of that shield break. So the Emperor's nice to get. He's one of their specials. He's got a couple other guys that haven't come in yet. We'll talk about them later. I still have the Wildmaker, which is when you play a Shai Halud yellow card, you get a big boy worm that has extra attack dice, but don't often play much Shai Halud. Sometimes I draw it. I'll show you the cards I have in my hand here. Okay, he's going to do a deploy with Captain Ereshkigal. So that'll get a Sardaukar, a leader of his choice, which is the Emperor. All right, let's get another attack group together. Emperor goes to Haga Basin with a full load here. And then he's got a Sardaukar and 2 regulars to drop out too. Okay, so let's do worms. Just put a little pressure on. We'll eat a harvester. So a worm just gets to eat a harvester. The worm goes away. The harvester goes away. That's the one to eat there. That's fine. one more dice for him, and then I have to play my Mentat dice. And then after that, he'll have one final move or Emperor action of his choice. In chat, if you're watching, give me a 0 to 10 out of the chances you think I have of winning this versus the chances of the Harkonnen player winning this. Okay, he's doing double move. So now I have to play my Mentat dice, so I'll use Lady Jessica's ability. We'll go ahead and play double card draw. I'm going to draw 2 Atreides cards. Then I'm going to do a one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Okay. Then I'm going to do this one. This one will be to take a Desert Power action, then play another card, and then my other card will be need to check something real quick. Sangomancer, what's the rule on when they move out of the tank? Is it at the end of the turn or the beginning of the turn when you play the dice? I think it's at the end of the turn, right? Trying to figure out if I can make use of Paul at some point in my life here or not. Let's see. End of the turn. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then I am going to do this. And then I am going to attack. I have 2 choices. I could go big and go for the North Pole, or I could go for real big and go for the Emperor. I'm going to go for the Emperor. I think that's the right move. Okay, and then this card limits him to 4 dice for the first roll, which is nice. I have a surprise attack with Gurney, which is that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm actually not going to discard. That's probably a mistake. Yeah, I'm not going to discard though. Okay. So I have 1 Fatakin. That'll get rid of nothing. He has 5 attacks and 1 Sardaukar, so he got rid of that. And then this will block here, and then I do 6 and he does 4. 6 to 4. 1 2, 3, 4, down to 3 regulars. See what I do for 6. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I will continue. I'll put Shaddam in the back to tank. I don't have to lose a guy because I did not attack a village. Has to be empty space. So can't even retreat you to village. Okay, so I'm going to take ground and I'm going to retreat him. And we're going to go probably here. I think that makes sense. Okay, see what he does with his last dice now. Paul is out. Beast will come out this turn too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, he's out already. So the idea behind that desert power was to put some pressure on the spice a little bit. I might have been better off discarding it for an extra battle dice. It would have got me another special, which would have been another attack and a defense. All right, maybe I should have done that. So his concern now is obviously that he's a little bit missing in his main city here. He also needs to kind of muster some troops to get some points, but sort of in a weird spot right now for him for sure. So the way the deployment tokens kind of work, these are kind of the good ones. These are sort of average. I got a couple of bad ones in here still too. But because of Chani, I haven't had to deal with them too much. No real objectives this turn at the moment. I only have 2 of the 3. No, I have all 3 in Mountain Legions. Nobody in Urg. And then Harvesters that I need to eat. Yeah, tough spot. Maximum spicy gets this round is 4, unless he has a card to fix that, which means he'll only be able to feed 2 of his people. We'll talk about that for a minute here while Sangomancer thinks. If you don't feed one of your guilds enough spice, they put a ban into play, which either prevents you from scouting, usually not a big deal, or you have to reduce your stacking limit to 5 instead of 6, or you can't discard to play combat cards. So these Chones and Landsrat are pretty bad to have, which is why if spacing, spacing, and then as you fall down the track, you also have to commit more and more dice instead of spice, so spice or dice. And then obviously the fewer dice you have, the more restrictive play you have as well. The other thing that he's likely thinking about here is, what I'm likely to do with my first move next turn. Atreides always moves first, Harkonnens always move last. So there's a little bit of a challenge for trying to play that game too. So this is a pretty good move. He's grouping people up and then moving a full stack of units into, not into Haga, but into a counterattack spot. Okay, I accept that. All right, end of turn. So we are going to put some worm sign out. Got one here, one here. Not that much worm activity. Going to reveal some worms. Going to eat this one, which gets saved. This is a nice spot for a worm. Oh, actually, do I have any in this one here? So I guess I should have left that guy here and then brought this guy out to here, I think. Okay, so that's my worms. Then we clean up worm sign. He's going to get 4 spice because this thing's saved by the carryall. No storms because he doesn't have anybody out in the desert. And now I'm going to go ahead and score this one. The hidden wind traps. There are 3 Atreides legions in mountain areas. That's going to get me a yellow and a red. It's going to put me up to family atomics, which we'll talk about that in a minute. That is not my win condition, however. As a reminder, I need to get to that. Okay. Going to refresh my leaders. He dropped the Spacing Guild to commit another dice, and then cannot scout with his ornithopters, which is fine, but he does have full combat capability, which I think is a good move. Okay. We are going to do what here? Do we keep this one? We're going to toss this one. And I think we're going to toss Minor Erg too. And we're just going to draw 3 new precedence cards. And I'm assuming the Baron doesn't want to swap. Paul and Gurney are good to go. Gurney stays, so does Paul. Okay. Baron's going to swap. So you can swap out your leaders at the end of the turn with just a regular leader. Baron's ability is 2 shield, but it's nice to have the attack sometimes too. Okay. All right. So 1 card of each for drawing. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. And then he's going to deploy his vehicles. Then we're going to roll dice, and we're going to see what happens here. Here's my objectives. Okay. Drop some guys out, makes sense. Okay. Okay, let's roll some dice, see what happens. No Bene Gesserit token this round, just 4 dice. There's a house dice, mentat dice, an attack, and another mentat. It's interesting. He has 3 attack, a deploy, and a house, and 1 extra strategy going to a surprise attack. Okay, that's all very good. All very good. It's got a lot of combat cards. All right, we're doing this. We are going to start with a house dice. No. We're going to start with mentat, I think. Draw 2 Atreides. Yep. Okay. Draw 2 Atreides cards and play 1. And the one I will be playing is Voice from the Outer World. That'll be place Paul and a Fatakin in a legion. Legion will be this legion. And then do a surprise attack against an area. Now, I have a couple of choices here, but I believe the correct move 2, 3, 4 is actually going to be to go into Hagabason with my surprise attack. No, wait, maybe not. Maybe we hit the big group instead. And he's going to deploy. Don't love the deploy is the problem. I could do a couple other things here too. That's okay. Yep, we're gonna hit these guys. We're gonna try. No. We're gonna get the points. Yep, we're going for Hagabason. Just get the points. That's probably the wrong answer, but we're doing it. No takebacks. All right, Gurney, Paul, and Chani, holy leaders. Let's roll some specials, kids. All right, he's got 3 + 1. He can discard if he wants. But doesn't look like it. Yep, just 4. Okay. 4 to 6. That's nice. That's Gurney's special. And also Chani's. So I've got a full leader pile there. That's a disgusting roll. All right. I have 2 Fatakin, kills both those shields. I have 2 shields to block these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 to 0. Maybe I should have hit the other route. That's okay. 9 to 0. Okay. Gets me Hagabason and then 1 point of each variety. And I am now in the middle of his business. So 1 green, 1 that, 1 that. And there's that one. Good to go. Harkonnen's turn. Now, the Harkonnen player here has got some choices. He can attack, he can deploy, or he could consolidate. He could also play cards. Tough spot for sure. Group of 6. That's a group of 5. Group of 3. We had a DUNE tournament in person in Bellevue a a while ago, back in February, that was pretty fun. We had about, I don't know, maybe 16 people show up to play. 7 or 8 games going at the same time, I think. It was pretty fun. Had 5 rounds. Had some good matches there. I did end up coming on top, which was nice. I played mostly Harkonnen there. We did a bidding system to see who wanted to play what. Generally, people wanted to actually play Atreides, I think, because Atreides is sort of a little more fun to play just in general, and Harkonnen can seem kind of like a drag, but Harkonnen can be pretty good at times too. So, okay, yep, they're doing a surprise attack. I think that's exactly the move I would have done here, would have been the surprise attack, given all the information I know. Now, if I could roll 3 specials again, that would be amazing. The terrorists have entered the city. The Imperials are trying to take it back. All right, they're 6, I'm 6. Here we go. He has 1 special. I don't know if this is Paul or Gurney, but it was on this side, so we're going to say it's Gurney's. Okay, he has 2 Sardaukar, kills both my shields. I have 2 Fadakin for nothing. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 to 6. Big bloody war. 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6. 6 to 6, I think. Yep. Okay. So he's got to take his first. One, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Oh, 6. Okay. I will take Chani. Gurney. 3 regulars. And one Fadakin. Downgrade. Is that right? Wow, that was brutal. Okay. So I gotta put these guys in the tank. The first casualty I'm gonna take is gonna be Gurney. No, Chani. And then the second casualty will be Gurney. Okay, he's gonna continue. Would be rolling 4. I will also continue, I think. 2, 3, 4. Yep. I'll stay. Discarding. So he's rolling 4. 5. Okay, I'll discard this one, and I'll discard this one to roll 6. 3, nope, 3, 4, 5, and then 1 more, maybe. Maybe not. Boy, those are so good. Nope, I'll just roll 5. Okay, 5. Yep. See how we do here. Paul comes to play. Okay, special for Paul. Sardaukar, Fadakin. Okay, block, block, block. 0 to 3. Paul did good there. So he's 1 Sardaukar, got 1 more casualty to take. 3 total. Yep. See if it continues or not. Cease the combat, okay. So, it gives me here. Night, bud. Heading to bed. Love you too. Little wombats off to bed. For those of you who don't know, I have two little wombats, age 14. When I started playing Rebellion, they were like age 11? That might be right. All right. I'm going to play a card. I think it's going to be the Mentat dice is what I'm going to play. I will play I am Stilgar of the Fremen. Place Stilgar, two elites, and a regular in a plateau of my choice. But the cool part is Haga Basin is now a free plateau area now that it's conquered. So that gives me a nice reinforcement card, and I get to draw a planning card, which I'll take an Atreides card. That gives this teeth. Now we're at 6 total, with 1 Fatakin. The other alternative was I could have attacked Carthag and gotten some points, but I think I would have been dead after that. Okay, Hawat shows up, and he's bringing to party a Sardaukar and 2 regulars. 2 regulars there. Okay, gotta not blow my load too quickly here. But I kind of want to. 2 dice to 4 dice, so I have 2 tokens, 2 worm signs. Or I can eat harvesters. I have an attack and Aaliyah. Okay. I'm going to play worm sign here. And no. I'm gonna, yeah, I'm gonna do worm sign here and here. Okay, set. I'll have 1 more worm sign to view after this. See what he's got. Harkonnen patrols, 3 in desert areas of his choice. 1 per unit area. This is a good card for the Harks. It allows them to sort of put pressure on sieges that are totally undefended. So he's got 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. Okay. He's also got 3 attacks, which is a good combo there. I am going to play does sort of cause a problem for me, doesn't it? Okay. These guys moved up 1 spot with the Stilgar card. Okay, I will play Aaliyah's ability to get rid of an action dice and then play Yeah, that sounds right. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he might be out. I think that's right. Okay. Okay, so I'll get rid of a dice, and then I'll play this card. Place 2 Fatakin and a Nabe, which is just a generic leader, and a Siege of my choice, which I think will be here. And then that's what I'm going to do. Your turn. Pretty reasonable. Okay, we are going to do the Atomics ability. So what the Atomics does is allows you to blow up. Well, maybe not. Maybe we won't do that. Do we do it? Might do it. And is that what I want to do? Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, we're going to blow up this one for here and confirm. So what that does is that shoots a missile and makes this a desert area. Now, had I saved my wild, I might have been able to do something fun with that, but I can still do some stuff with Stilgar's action. So we're going to play Stilgar. It's going to bring these guys out at the end of the turn. We're going to go ahead and gamble a little bit. We're going to move you guys. We're going to move you guys and just see what happens. We're going to move you guys up for 1. And then we're going to move you guys up for 2. Right? Is that right? Might be right. Maybe we don't. Maybe we just blow that up and then attack. Yeah, you know what? Okay, we're still going to blow that up, but we are going to attack from here to here instead. Yep, we're just going to do an attack, and we're going to roll awesome dice, and that's going to happen. Okay, 6, and he's got that for 2 more, so he's got a big dice pile here. I've got 6 too. I do have the leader advantage. I do not have a surprise attack. I did roll Paul and Stilgar with these 2. This one was not useful. He rolled one special for Thwifer, which is pretty good. That cancels out Paul. And then I've got one Fadakin who's got two Sardaukar. Okay, then we're gonna block, block, block. Yep, he did it. Okay, 0-1. Too bad, too bad, too bad for me. Okay. This was a misjudged folly here. Do I press? Am I all in at this point? There's a chance that this goes horrendously bad. There's a chance that it goes awesome. Mostly it's a chance that it goes bad. I do have some bailouts. I really should have taken the free points is what I should have done. I want those two. One more. One more roll. See what happens. Okay, 6. Okay, Paul, Stilgar. Okay, 2 Sardaukar, kills by 2 shields. 1 Fadakin kills 1 of his shields. Just gonna block those 2. And that one. Okay, 4-4. 4-4. I can take that. I can take that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I'm all right with that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Okay. Now, do I press again? I don't think so. I'm good. I'll hang. Did not go as well as I'd hoped. Too greedy, Wombat. Too greedy. All right, that's okay though. No big deal. All sorts of ways to recover, maybe. All right, his final card, he has an attack. Now he's got to figure out if he wants to counterattack or not. Thwifer, the hero of Carthag. Okay, he's going for it. But I gotta put a... Where'd Stilgar go? It's gotta go in the tank. Okay. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Which one will you go? Great. Very good. Give me a Bene Gesserit token. And it will let him upgrade to Fade Rautha, which is a nice upgrade for him. All right. I score no objectives this turn, which was bad. But get some Worm Sign out there. 2, 3, 4, 5. That turn definitely needed to go better. We'll do Worm Sign Reveal. Okay, reallocate these worms. Got 1, 2, 3, and where's my 4th worm? I'm missing a worm. Oh, here. Yeah. So this guy gets eaten, this guy gets eaten. These guys get saved. This guy gets saved. You're all right. You got 6 spice. Okay, so we're going to clean up. Now there's an interesting nuance here. So storms, we're going to go ahead and do some storms. He's dead. This guy over here, he's dead. This guy over here, he's dead. And now these guys actually get hit too because they're exposed to the desert, but they don't get hit on specials, only shields, or only hits. So it's just 1 hit on them. Okay. Swapping leaders. Paul will stay, I think. And load these guys back up. I will keep, and I don't know what to keep. Guess I'll keep all these. I don't really know how to score that though. There's not that many others out there. I'll just see what happens. Okay, those are good. All right. Okie dokie. Can make that happen, I think. All right. Cards, 1 of each. Definitely could use that. Okay. Timing on here is kind of a mess, unfortunately. That's okay. We'll figure it out. He's rolling 2 fewer dice. So let's roll, see what happens. Okay, we got 2 strategy, 1 deploy, 1 leadership, 1 wild. I suppose I can always use that for a mentat if I want. I mean, did he roll 1 deploy? 1 deploy is almost enough for him to get out of trouble. I really need to do this first, though. It's possible he drew some helpful cards. God, what a mess. So close, Wombat. I think we're going to do it this way. We're going to do Paul Atreides for Desert Power. And Desert Power will be 1, 2. And then, so his skill is take a Desert Power and then make a surprise attack with a Legion with a leader. So then these guys are going to Desert Power into Arrakis and get 3 points. Now, when you take Arrakis, you move everything up 3 points. And if you meet the objective, you automatically win. However, I do not meet the objective, so I do not win. So there we go. What happens there is, so I've got total greens of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have eight green. Um, but you only instant win Arrakeen if it wins when you get to that point. So that was not the case here. The Harkonnen player now can win if they get to 10 points. So if he can find a way of claiming 3 sieges, I am then going to be in some trouble. However, the 2 objectives I could possibly be holding on to right now are green 9 and green 10. So it's very likely I'll win at the end of the turn if he does not beat me here. Okay, it's a reasonable deployment. Okay. I am just going to press my luck, I think. No, 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 no. Don't be silly, Wombat. Let's just try to do this. All right. I'm going to use Aaliyah's ability to discard a dice of my choice and then play a planning card. And play this card, which lets me draw another objective card. And as long as I don't draw the other green, I'll be in good shape. Mm-hmm. Then I draw 2 planning cards, which is going to be these 2 now, right? Do I draw Fremen cards now? I think I do. Okay. Back to you. So he's got 2 attacks and 2 wilds. He has 1, 3, and 1, 2, and there is 1 more 3 siege out there that he knows about. See if Aaliyah got me there or not. He's going to play a card. This card is going to be Rage of Arcane. So he's going to move and then make a surprise attack with the Legion. Okay. Yep. Take that one. That's a good move. Okie dokie. Yep. 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 Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I just have 1. I'm very dead. That's a good card. 2 more dice left. He's got an Ornithopter in range. So, out of options. Out of options. Okay, I can move. I can deploy. 3 Sardaukar, Emperor, and Fade. Man, that is going to be the end of it, I think, folks. Did not get... What other options are there? Nothing to draw. Okay, so we're going to do deploy, and we're going to draw 2. And we'll take you, and we'll put Gurney out into play. Gurney's better than Jessica here, right? I think that's right. I think that's still right. Yep. Okay, and that's it. Attack with the Ornithopter. Yep. Okay. Elite and a regular. Gurney, a regular, and a 3. And a handful of cards to discard. We will see how this goes. Rolling 6. Okay, Gurney with some hits. He's got 3 Sardaukar. And then he's got 1 shield, 2, 3 shields. Okay, so 3 damage to 2. So I take 3, he takes 2. 1, 2, 3. It's gonna be it. It's gonna be it. It's not good. I'm at 4, 5, 6. Two, 3. Yep. Okay. I don't even know what sort of roll I need him to have. He breaks both my shields. I do 6, 5, 4, and he does 4. 4 to 4. That will end the game. Good game to the Harkonnen player. The key piece there, I think, were 2 things. One, he guessed right. He got the 3 instead of the 1. I could have deployed these guys to guard the 3, but in theory, I'm not sure that would have made too much difference. It probably would have. The other thing that needed to happen is I needed to score instead of trying to attack Carthage last turn. I needed to actually attack these guys, and then I could have scored the Bloody Swords card, which would have moved me up 1 higher on the green, and then got it there. So for those watching, it is generally pretty normal to have, it's very rare to lose in this position. That's not a very common thing. But it does happen from time to time, obviously, like just now. More often, you'll see scores that look something kind of like this. There's also a card in the bottom of the deck here that can be helpful for situations like mine that let you move a prescience marker down and then other ones up. But obviously that was at the bottom of the pile there. So yeah, good game by Sanguimancer. Pulled it out from the depths. That was an excellent comboed move right there with the Emperor. Definitely caught Paul in an area where he couldn't do much. And that's it. So I hope you guys liked watching this game. It's a fun one. I like it more than I like War of the Ring, less than I like Rebellion. But yeah, it probably goes Rebellion, War for Arrakis, Dracula, War of the Ring. I'm kind of in that area. I like War of the Ring too, but it just gets sort of samey to me, where this one plays pretty different. So good game, and thanks. And I will cut the stream. I appreciate you guys. Leave a comment if you'd like to see more of this, and please check out my other YouTube channel and like and subscribe on the Dune 1 hour in the comments or in the descriptions there if you haven't already. Thanks, guys.